Hey up, me duck. It's Friday again. It's Friday the 10th of May. Wow, it's flying past this one. I thought last year was going fast. This one just seems to have picked up right speed. It's episode 214 of the Pro Synth Network live show. Welcome one and all. And I hope you've had a fine week since last we spoke. We've got we've got some news. There's not a huge amount because obviously Superbooth is coming up next week, and everyone is holding back the good stuff until next week. And trust me, a day or so before Superbooth, there's going to be an absolute glut of news of the synthesizer variety and many other things besides. But there have been a few companies who have decided, yeah, do you know what? Screw that. We're going now. So we can talk about a few bits and bobs. And maybe we'll even speculate as much as we're able to without breaking any NDAs as to what we might see or what we might expect to see. Maybe we'll throw that out to you. Don't tell us now. Tell us later. Have a think about what you might see, what you'd want to see, what you don't want to see at Superbooth. Process that. Don't put anything in the chat at the moment. Just leave that to one side, and then when we get to it, throw it in, and then we'll have a look and we'll have a discussion. And say as far as we're able to, we'll talk about it. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit kind of flustered because late Dindins is still digesting. Literally 5 minutes ago, I was just putting all my stuff in the dishwasher and getting ready. It's been a bit of a rush. And it's going to be like this. I can foresee for the entire next 7 or 8 days, but it'll all be good. Anyway, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about, and of course Superbooth. And don't forget, you can give us a like and a comment. If you want to comment on the video during the live show, then please do. Whatever platform you're watching on, as long as it's YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and X. You can leave a comment on the video or reply to it in X, and we'll see it and we'll bring you in. YouTube is probably the best one for that, I'll have to admit. And if you are watching us on any of those platforms, give us a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it is that platform allows you to do. And if you're watching us on YouTube, which I think the vast majority of people do, give us a subscribe and hit that bell to get reminders of when we're on air, because every now and again we do shows outside of the regular Friday show, and there might be one next week. So I'm not going to make any promises, but there might be. And of course, if you think there's somebody out there that would love to watch this show and doesn't already, then share the link. That would be fantastic. So yeah, give us a like and a comment and a subscribe and a bell ring and a share and all of that kind of stuff. And if you want to support us, which would be amazing, you can support us on Patreon, which is our kind of like our main go-to, apart from YouTube. If you want to help us, then you can go to patreon.com/ProSynth Network, and the minimum subscription, there's only one tier, it's a mere $2 or whatever that equivalent might be in your neighborhood. And I think you can give us more if you want to, but we don't ask you. All we do is we take that money and we use it to keep the channel going, to pay all the license fees and the subscription fees and all that kind of stuff. And also we use it to go to places like Superbooth and get content and stuff to show you. So we love that. And of course it does pay for an occasional beer. I'm going to hide that because otherwise my mouth goes, I need to be taller. I need to raise my seat up. Excuse me. So, yeah, you can support us on Patreon. That'd be fantastic. Of course, you can also support us on YouTube in a number of ways. You can become a YouTube member, and we do try and give our YouTube members the same as what our Patreon subscribers do or get. Because if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get free sound patches or samples for your synthesizers. We've got plenty of stuff up there, more stuff incoming. In particular, there's going to be a very nice one coming next week. So stay tuned for that one. What else have we got? We've got exclusive video content on there. Not a huge amount, but we did have a brilliant one last week where we were very fortunate that Cherry Audio gave us like a 5-day exclusive preview of their next instrument and what it sounds like. They didn't say what it was, but you could certainly hear what it did, and it was rather impressive. That video is now public on Cherry Audio's channel, by the way, so the exclusivity thing is gone. But that's the kind of thing that you get if you want to subscribe to us, and we're dead chuffed when you do. We really appreciate it. You don't have to. This show is completely free of charge. We do it for the love of it. And yeah, so there you go. So yeah, if you want to follow us on social media as well, we're across all of those things as well. You know where we are. Follow us there if you want to. Facebook is the most common one that we use, because apparently Facebook is where old people go to do social media, and you know, we're old. If you have a question during the show for myself or other hosts, we don't have any guests this week, but stick a big capital Q in front of it, and that way we can pick it out from the list. It stands out a little easier, and we can drop it into the bucket, and we'll call on those as and when. As I said, think about Superbooth coming up and what you'd like to see, what you hope to see, maybe what you don't want to see. And store that in your brain. Don't put it in the chat just yet, otherwise we might lose it. That won't be very good. And when we start talking about that, just throw it in, put a capital Q in front of it, and we'll be able to discern that from the rest of the stuff that is flying through. And as I've been talking for the last 5 minutes or so, messages have been piling through. So hi to everyone that is in the chat. I am so sorry I'm not going to be able to name you all, but you know that we know who you are, and we love you for coming back week after week, and thank you ever so much for that. Of course, we've got a bunch of members in there, people who subscribe to YouTube membership for us, people like Keith in Watford and Kissing the Machine, and Viral Beats is in there as well. So thank you for subscribing. That is lovely and beautiful. I wish we could put something about Patreon subscribers in there, but we can't, so I'll have to look into that maybe. And thank you all also to Andrew Brooks, to Ben Musines, and if he's in there, I haven't seen him whiz past yet, but hopefully Andy Synth Addict. They are our 3 lovely moderators who have the easiest job in the world, because you guys are all stupidly well behaved, and we love you for that. And they don't have to do any sort of kicking out the room, but what they do, and what they're really good at, is when we're talking about stuff, they put links in the chat so that you can click on those and check them out later on. I see President Richard Hilton's in the house. Be upstanding. Good to see you, sir. But yeah, thank you for all of your patronage. It is lovely to see you, lovely. And I think we might as well get on with the show and bring in our one and only co-host tonight, because Andrew, bless him, is off sick. And he's not feeling very well. He phoned me up about, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, and was most apologetic, but very chesty, very cough laden, and not at all very well. I think he's picked it up off of Mrs. Longhurst, and so he's going to take it easy for tonight. He did say he would try and pop in, and I said don't, because then you'll make me feel bad. Just put your feet up, go to bed, take a hot toddy with you, a lemsip, and get better, feel better soon. So if you're watching, Andrew, feel better soon, mate. But who we do have, because we can't get rid of him, I mean, we've tried eviction orders, shovels, meat laced with stuff, you know, but he just refuses to go. It's Mr. Kent Spong.
Evening, viewers.
Oh, look at your lovely Cherry Audio t-shirt.
Yeah, I know, because I thought it was this week.
Yeah, and do you know, this is how rushed I've been. I haven't even put my thing on. Not
yeah,
you
I know,
really see it.
Mate, I've had such a week.
Yeah, it's
Holy
crazy, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's been absolutely mental.
What have you been up to?
Oh, mate. Well, I'm ready to start spraying the Mustang tomorrow.
Okay.
Everything else is done. She's all lovely. I've got the Chrysler up and kicking and doing everything it's supposed to be doing. And I checked the, because it is the 10th, I checked the manifest about the Carvera.
Oh, yes.
And it said still not out for delivery.
That was today. It was supposed to be today, wasn't it? Jesus.
It said still not out for delivery, and I went, oh, damn it. All right, I'll just get on with everything else I was going to be getting on with. And then it turned up.
Oh, dear.
In a pallet, and we couldn't even get it down the driveway. And we had to, Fiona, you will have to take your car off the driveway. Oh, wait, you can't, because the because the Chrysler is across the driveway, and we can't move the Chrysler because there's no battery in it and it's in park.
Oh no.
So we had fun, but all the guy wanted, the delivery guy, all he wanted to do was take loads and loads of photographs of the Mustang. So while we prepared, he just messed around with the Muzzy.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Nice distraction to have.
Yeah, but this
Cool.
Carvera is heavy.
Is it big?
It's a fair size, but it is solid.
Honestly, I mean, all I know about the Carvera is what it's called and sort of what it does. So it's kind of like a 3D printing, PCB making,
CNC.
Whatever that. Oh, there was CNC. I mean, weren't they a pop group? Oh, that was CNC Music Factory, wasn't it?
No, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, basically, it can make things in all 4 dimensions.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's the bee's bits, as it were. And it's the most beautifully built thing I've ever seen in my life. It's ridiculously beautiful.
More beautiful than a CS80.
Yeah, you see, if a CS80 had hydraulic arms to lift up the lid, then it'd be getting close to this thing. So.
I'm going to have to come and see this.
Yeah, well, I was going to do an unboxing because somebody in the chat or one of the pubs was saying about doing an unboxing for it, and it turned out you had to unbox it with a hammer.
Oh wow!
So it wouldn't have been.
Would have been a pleasant thing.
There might be a let's see if we can get it to work without killing anybody kind of scenario. Probably tomorrow.
Can we make the Death Star with it or something?
Well, yeah. Yeah, so you can make chess pieces, you can do anything, circuit boards, blah, 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 blah.
Excellent. So, Anaglyph in 6 months, yeah?
Well, I was thinking more about 5 weeks.
Okay. I'm
very
sure people
small one.
They've waited this long.
Yeah, just a tiny little Anaglyph.
Yeah, brilliant. Have I had anything... Oh, I've had some bit... I'm desperately trying to run it down at the moment. I bought a power bank. Because all the power banks I've had in the past have been these little, sort of piddly ones that give you about 20% extra boost on your iPhone. So I thought I'd buy a 25,000 milliamp per hour thing. It's about as big as... I can't get it because I'm trying to run it down. Because they say when you get it, charge it fully and then discharge it fully and then charge it fully again.
Put it on your tongue. So really quick.
But it's this big, chunky, lovely, smooth thing with a little button and 3 USB ports, and I can power my laptop. I can charge my laptop. I can power. Yeah, I can power. I have power. But it's for Superbooth, so that as I'm roaming around, that I can make sure that everything's has got something to charge back up on. And I got a power supply for my camera. So the Sony camera I use for this has 2 ports on the side. One is an HDMI, and the other one is a USB port for you to charge the battery in the camera. So you don't need a separate charger. You just plug this in, and it charges within the camera. And if you want to power it from the mains, you can power it. You can plug that charger cable into the supplied little adapter, and you plug it in, and everything works. And that's what I've been doing. But I'm always conscious that I'm like the battery never gets used, and so I don't want to condition it too much. So you can get these dummy batteries. So it's a dummy battery. It's the same size as the actual battery, but it has a cable coming out of it, and there's a slot in the battery cover so that the cable can come out, and you put it in, and then you plug it into a USB power supply, and it powers the camera. And it was doing it until I turned the camera off, and the lens wasn't retracting, and the shutter wasn't doing what the shutter does. It makes a clicky sound. Shut, yeah. So then I turned it off and on again, and then it's basically the camera. It's almost like the camera got like a quarter or half a way through the shutdown process and thought, you know what, there's not enough power here. I'll just go to sleep as I am. And it turns out that you need to supply it with 2 amps, 5 volts, 2 amps, and the Sony power supply or the Sony USB adapter was doing 1.5. So I was getting very nervous that my camera a week before Superbooth was breaking down, but it's looking good. There you go. That's my week, and other things have been turning up, but I can't talk about. So
it's turned up.
I can't say.
Okay.
It might have done. It might not have done.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Let's do a show, I think.
Yeah, there can't be a lot of news because we've done nearly a quarter of an hour talking about absolutely nothing to do
Pretty
with
much,
music whatsoever.
And yet people still turn up and watch. Before we go on, thank you, Stephen Smith, for your Australian $10. Thank you very much.
Super dupes.
Most appreciated. Thank you for that. Again, that's another way if you want to support us. Super Chat and Super Stickers are very, very useful. Thank you very much for that. Again, not obliged. You're not, it's not mandated, but thank you if you do. So let's move on. Well, I think let's get this one out of the way because it's sad, and this came as a bit of a shock, not just to myself, but through pretty much anyone in and around the music industry of a certain age, I would guess. And that was the passing of this absolute legend, Steve Albini, who never described himself as a producer, always described himself as an engineer, somebody who enabled musicians to get their sound onto tape and out into the world, and was a staunch supporter of artists' rights and completely anti-establishment, and never once went back on his word. And there's the Nirvana Facebook group, the official Facebook group, posted the letter that he sent to Chris, Dave, and it's just name has gone complete. Kurt. How could you forget Kurt Cobain? Anyway, he sent this letter to them, laying out his case or his pitch basically for producing their final album In Utero, and it was this brilliant letter that said, if you want somebody who can get the best from you and get your sound down, I'm your guy. But if you want to appease, record company suits, and I'm just paraphrasing here, then I absolutely want no part of it. And this is what I can bring, and this is what we'll do, and this is how we'll do it. It was just so refreshing to see. And he was 61 when he passed. I can't believe that, Passed away of a heart attack, apparently, quite suddenly. And, I mean, he was responsible for working with so many artists. I mean, the body of work that he leaves behind is immense. And there's a nice article here on Pitchfork, but there's plenty of other stuff around if you want to get into that. I mean, I know a guy who has modelled his entire studio based on what Steve Albini said you needed, and it was basic. He said, "This is all you need. You don't need." He said, I think one of Steve Albini's famous quotes was, "If you need more than a week or take more than a week to record an album, you're doing it wrong." The moment you start arguing and getting all pernickety about that snare doesn't sound right or that hi-hat's out of tune or whatever, then you've lost it, and then what you're producing is not authentic. And I can get that. So, any comments on Steve Albini?
Mate, you pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Sad. I must admit, though, it always gets a bit sort of worrying when somebody dies who's the same age as you.
Oh. That's
never encouraging,
yeah.
Is it, really?
Obviously, we don't want to speculate, but he was, as far as I'm aware, he's a pretty clean living guy, pretty healthy guy. I mean, they're just about to release, there's an album that he's working on, an old band that he's kind of, or had rejuvenated, whose name escapes me at the moment, but they're about to release an album and I guess do some touring, and he's been around for donkey's years, and it's just a name that people associate with just good, honest, music recording, and so we've lost one of the greats. So there you go. Thank you, Steve Albini, and fare thee well on whatever journey you want to go on, whatever you believe. There we go. Right, that's that one. So, right. Let's talk about some happier things. Well, let's talk about some controversial things, shall we? Because, well, there was some good news this week because Apple had an event, and during that event they announced a couple of updates for pieces of software that we may use. Some of you might not, some of us do. We've got a brand new Logic Pro. Logic Pro is now going to be version 11, so it's a big, full one step up. They're saying it's powerful, creative, and smarter than ever. And yes, it's going to have AI stuff in there. It's following the trend of a lot of pieces of software and hardware. If you look at Akai, and they're going to have stem separation in there. They've enhanced the session players mode in there, so you've got bass, keyboard, drummer, studio, bass, studio, piano, a whole bunch of others in there as well, chord tracks. But yeah, you're going to be able to now take a piece of audio and split it, as you can see there, vocals, drums, bass, and other. I mean, this is nothing new. If you've been using things like Isotope RX, you've been able to do that for some while, and with great success. Now they're just building these tools into the software. Be interesting to see how well it works. We won't find out until what's today? 10th, Monday. It comes out on the 13th. So yeah, other stuff there. You've got Chroma Glow, which is a brand new version of their rather excellent Chroma Verb reverb, which is very nice. There's pitch correction in there. There's a mastering assistant, which is useful. You got smart tempo functionalities in there. Spatial audio, that's been in there for a little while, but it's been enhanced. So you can do everything in the Dolby Atmos world, 3D object panning and all that kind of malarkey, and get everything ready for exporting to Apple Music, which of course supports all of that platform. And lots of people's faces. There's a new Logic Remote app, an updated one of those. You've got live loops and multi-touch mixing and all that kind of stuff is in there. And of course, the other thing that was announced, of course, was Logic Pro for iPad that's been updated and will feature a lot of the stuff that you find in the desktop version. The thing that's going to power this, certainly power it to the best of its abilities, is the brand new iPad. The new iPad Pro, which has got the M4 chip in, it's got the M4 chip before a desktop or a laptop Mac, which is interesting. I still think we are rapidly approaching the time when MacBooks and iPads will just merge into this gooey mess of just a single, platform, single device. It's getting that way, but the iPad version has all of these features as well, as we spoke about. So it's a very powerful tool for making music on the move. Before we move on to the associated topic around this Apple release, you're not a Logic user, but does this tempt you? Because you're a Mac owner. I mean, it's £199, which of course is way cheaper than most other sequences for Mac or for Windows for that matter. Of course, the dongle that you require is a Mac. This is a Mac only thing, so they can afford, I guess, to only charge $199. And if you're an existing Logic owner, the upgrade is completely free of charge. So that's rather cool. The other complaint apparently about this is that it's starting to cut off all the Intel-based Mac users, which was inevitable at some point. I think even the current version of it had already started doing that. So, in fact, I know it did because I couldn't use 10.7 on my old iMac. So, but have you ever been tempted by this? Does this tempt you even more to break free of the chains of Cubase?
Probably not. Probably not. Besides, I'm not quite sure how comfortable I would feel using a DAW that classes my instrument of choice as other. To be honest, it doesn't bode well for me. I used to mess with Logic for when we were doing the touch digital controllers, testing the software, And I do remember really struggling to find the things I wanted to find that weren't where Cubase has them. And it's just, it's that sort of classic example of just dyed in the wool Cubase user.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, it looks pretty cool, and the fact you're getting all that for pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's nothing to current Logic users.
Yeah.
Not dirt from scratch. So yeah, I mean, no, I think it would have to include sexual favours to even tempt me to go near it, to be honest.
Well, what with AI coming, you never know.
Well, this is it. There's always this possibility, and then I will consider it. But at the
what
moment,
about for the iPad though?
I use Cubasis on the iPad.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
So-
yeah. Well, it makes sense. If that's your environment, that's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
ecosystem.
exactly. I mean, and the only reason it's on there is to be able to load various factory WAV and syslexes onto the various old lumps that I have to work on.
Yeah,
Put their factories back on and stuff like that.
yeah.
So that's always about as far as I ever got with it on
Yeah.
iPad anyway. So
Yeah, I
looks
kind of-
great, but just
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not my neck of the
'cause
woods.
I was a Mac user for a while before I bit the bullet and went with Logic, and that was only because I was not forced to, but it just made my life easier if I had Logic. And one of the things that I really wanted from an iPad was the ability to use it as a tool when I wasn't at my desk, and then bring it and then just like move that project that I've been working on into a desktop environment and continue to work with it. And at the time I was a Reason user, or heavy Reason. That was my main door of choice, and their mobile apps didn't really do that. I think they had one called Figure, which was just like a 4-track loop making, beat making thing, and the only way you could export from that into, well, initially the only way you could export from that into Reason was just audio files, which was no good to me. I wanted the MIDI files, and I think that kind of came a little later on, but it wasn't great. It wasn't ideal. And then somebody showed me that I could use GarageBand on an iPad, or for our American viewers, GarageBand, and I could create something on that sounded actually quite good, and then export it, or send it to Logic on a Mac, and I would get all of the MIDI data, even the MIDI data from the automatic instruments. So you've got instruments on there that make it very simple for you to strum a guitar and stuff, and you have chord functionality, so you can just press, if you want to operate in the particular key, it will then give you all the chords in that key, and you can then play those either as individual notes or as strums or whatever, bowed strings. It's very nice and very easy, and it's very convenient when you're on the move.
Yeah.
And all of that MIDI data that the application GarageBand is making gets exported to Logic, so then you can on your desktop you can tweak it all. It's completely editable, and that's one of the things that made me think, yeah, actually this works, and that may be the way. Since then, my iPad, I've never bothered updating it. I don't see the point in having one if I've got a MacBook, and if I've got a MacBook, I've got Logic anyway, so that kind of need has gone. But it was very good, and still is apparently. So now you've got Logic Pro on an iPad, which I don't want to. Well, you can't buy it; you have to subscribe to it, and I'm not sure I want to. I'd have to get an iPad first, but I don't want to spend. I don't like that. Not with a DAW. I don't like subscribing to a DAW that much. Anyway,
I'm not a massive fan of subscribing.
no,
It
has his benefit. Do you know what? I updated or renewed, should I say, my Roland Cloud subscription. And because I've been a Roland Cloud subscriber for a good number of years now, I've managed to partake in enough renewals and a couple of offers that means that I can now claim, or I've been able to claim lifetime keys of a number of plugins every year. And every year when I renew, I get to claim a few more. And this year, I claimed everything. I now have lifetime keys for every single current Roland Cloud plugin that there is. So I could stop my subscription next year and I'd still keep all of those instruments. But of course, they keep you there because you never know what they might bring out next. And then you've got to resubscribe.
And patches.
And all of that stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, it is a subscription service and people don't necessarily like them. However, I've got these license keys, lifetime license keys.
Cool.
And yes, there is that kind of threat of that service going away and you'll be left with nothing. I don't know how, I don't know
that
what the
could happen
extraction...
with just about every bit of software you ever put on your computer,
Exactly.
to be honest.
Or any piece of hardware. Manufacturers
Yeah.
stop supporting the hardware, and a lot of the hardware we have nowadays uses a computer, whether it's for an editor or a librarian or updates. So, yeah, it's much of a muchness. But I thought, well, at least I've got my sort of my money's worth, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah. I think
And
if I owned a Phantom, I would probably be all over
Yes,
it.
that makes a lot of sense these days.
But I haven't, so I'm not.
Yeah. But if Roland Cloud are listening, which they probably aren't, but if they are, what's going on? Because there hasn't been anything new instrument-wise for a while, apart from this Galaxius thing, which is just basically, allows you to stack up and layer existing cloud instruments. There's not been anything...
They've been mostly concentrating on previous catalogue, haven't they?
Yeah.
So now they've got to be... got to think up something new from scratch now.
Well, yeah, but there's still plenty of stuff in the back catalogue that they could do. For example, they've not done a VP.
Have they not?
No.
Oh.
They've not done...
That might have got me interested.
Yeah. They've not done a Jupiter 6, which is where Cherry Audio came in, and boom, they've kind of beaten them to the punch. There's plenty of stuff that isn't there. JP8000, for example, as Ben from Museum says. JX10, JX8P. I mean, there are lots of things in there that they could do, as well
MKSs?
as maybe some. Nope, no MKSs.
They better get on that, because after I was saying about that chip that you can't get any monthly outputs.
Yeah, exactly. So there's plenty they could do, but for some reason they've slacked off, and it's an odd one. But there you go. Anyway, so back to Apple. When they launched this new iPad, which is this ultra thin brand new iPad, it's the thinnest iPad ever, which is what they say every year. But hey, they make it thinner. They've got to say it. They debuted an advert. Now, I can't play the advert to you because the last time we played a trailer, an Apple advert trailer, they gave us a copyright claim, which we disputed and we won. But I just can't be bothered to go through the hassle of doing that. So I will throw a static image up on the screen. Here we go. So if you haven't watched this advert, it was up until the other day, in fact today, it was still there. It's called Crush, and what it depicts is a giant hydraulic press, and sitting on the bottom plate of this giant hydraulic press are musical instruments, pianos, as you can see here. There's guitars, there's metronomes, there's trumpets and all sorts of things. There's a myriad paint cans, art brushes, basically human creative tools of all manners and descriptions. And as the music is playing, the top plate of the giant hydraulic press is coming down and eventually starts squishing all of this stuff. And it's very well filmed. There's lots of slow-mo shots of things being crushed and exploding, as you can see in the still here. And eventually the press completes its journey all the way to the bottom with all this stuff oozing out the side. And then as the top part of the press lifts up, what's left behind is a brand new iPad. And the message of the advert is all of this is crammed into this. I get that. I absolutely get that. What the rest of the world apparently seems to think is that Apple were advocating the destruction of tangible creative tools such as real pianos and what have you, and disposing them all for an iPad. And there was a big furore on the internet, as the internet is prone to do, with lots of people, even Hugh Grant for some reason, calling Apple out for this. Apple have then since spun around, done a full 180 and said, look, we're sorry, we missed the mark with this one. We've cancelled any advertising campaigns that we had using this advert. We're sorry, and we can only apologise. I despaired at this. I can see why people think that this was, somewhat offensive to the creative community, that it was advocating for the destruction of real creative tools. But when I saw this, I thought, oh, I get it. They're basically saying you can squish all of this stuff, whether it's pianos or paints or brushes or whatever, into an iPad, and it does it's basically a new tool, but with all of this stuff inside. And whether that's a cool thing or not, that's entirely up to you. But I just kind of thought that was a real. I didn't understand fully why people were really losing their what's it about it. I mean, would that offend you? An advert that shows the destruction of all of this stuff, whether it's I don't even know whether any of the stuff in that advert was actually really crushed, or whether it was just CGI, computer generated or enhanced or whatever. I'm sure that they didn't crush, a very expensive piano. It was probably a prop or whatever. I don't know. But thoughts?
It cost more to CGI it.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the whole sort of crushing tangible objects. I can see why people would be upset about it. I can. At the same time, sort of think, oh, really? Is there nothing else to be moaning about?
I know, this is...
it's
almost like people are looking...
There's wars going on, mate.
Yeah.
There's 20... at any one time, there's 25 million people... Is it 25 million? I think it's 25 million people in slavery. You want to get upset about something, get upset about that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that whatever advertising agency was tied to, their creative department, where there would be a guy with a ponytail going, yeah, it just speaks so much from, it's such a concept, and all that sort of thing. Sort of like, shut up, mate. I can see both sides. I must admit, I can see both sides, with equal agreement and, exasperation. But
yeah.
I mean, if they crushed an 80, I'd probably be pissed off, especially if it was one I restored. I'd be pissed at that. So I can see both sides of this. I really can.
Do you know, I saw a video, this was some while ago, of somebody with an old upright piano that was still playable, and they took it to a beach, I think it was, and they doused it in petrol, set it on fire, and recorded that. Not only from a visual perspective, but they recorded the sound of this piano going, the strings going,
dying.
Yeah, and I sat there looking at this thinking, somebody somewhere would have absolutely loved to have had a piano. Now, whether it's a beaten up whole thing, as long as it could be played, they would have loved to have had. And I felt a bit upset that, for the purposes of art, somebody had set fire to a piano. And apparently Spectrasonics have done a sample library called Burning Piano. And there are other instances. I mean, do we get upset when Pete Townsend wallops his Rickenbacker into a stack of Marshall amps? No, that was rock and roll. But he's destroying a guitar, which is and the amount of rock and roll musicians who have destroyed their instruments, drums, keyboards, guitar. I mean, everybody loves to laugh at the fact that Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails destroyed DX7s every night on tour for God knows how many years. Everybody loves that and laughs about that. But
I think we live in a world now where outrage is just second nature. People need something to be outraged about. The internet gives them a voice, whereas they wouldn't bother before. They go, oh, whatever, there's nothing I can do about it, and move on. Yeah. So that's probably a little bit of that in there. But, I mean, I watched a guy today in a video play Claire de Lune on a piano with 2 bananas. And I imagine there's some fruit fetish guy somewhere who's outraged that piano's been used in such a way.
Yes.
Or a piano manufacturer going, you can't play a piano with 2 bananas. And he did it very well, by the way.
Yeah.
But, you know, people can be outraged about anything everything. But so this doesn't come as a surprise to me, to be honest.
I mean, when the KLF set £1 million on fire, I mean, that £1 million could have been used for a gazillion different things to help people. But no, they decided to burn it as an artistic statement. And so many people go, oh, do you remember when the KLF burnt £1 million? Yeah, right on. They shoved it to the man.
Like, what's her name? Tracy Wasserknickers, or whoever it was, or Damien, cutting up a...
Oh, Damien Hirst.
Damien Hirst cutting up an
animal,
a shark or
Dead
whatever
animal.
It was. Yeah, you know, and you sort of... Well, people were outraged about that. I mean, you know, the shark didn't give a crap. It was already dead.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I just think, you know, like you say, there's plenty more things to be upset and outraged about than an advert just depicting... I mean, I get what the advert was trying to depict, and I fully understand that somebody at Apple must have thought, I wonder if there's some people out there that would look at this and think that, you know, this is maybe a disrespectful thing to, you know, human creative tools, and, you know, we're destroying them, and we're pulling out an iPad and say, hey, you can do it all now in one of these. Somebody must have thought, and somebody must have discussed this, and somebody must have said, yeah, you know what, whatever.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? They're crushing pianos and bits and bobs and trumpets and all the rest of it, right? And there's a public outcry about it. It makes the news, right, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it has the same impact as if they'd done an advert of them crushing puppies 20 years ago. Do I use the word? Yeah, I'll use the word. The wokeness was a brilliant idea, and it was a good way of straightening out a lot of the injustices. But they need to put the brakes on it now. It's running right. They're running out of things to get outraged about or try to correct, and everything is now up for it.
Yeah.
You know,
but yeah, and as Manny says, you know, look how much people are talking about Apple again. You know, somebody said, I was reading comments that was, saying this has done their brand no good at all. And I'm thinking, well, actually, we're all talking about Apple, whether it's about positive stuff like new products and new tools, or whether it's about a TV advert that lasts 1 minute, that tries to convey one message and sadly kind of got skewed to another way. We're all talking about Apple, whether we like them or not. We're all talking about them. So who knows? I mean, whether that was a deliberate thing, you know, you can take it from the Michael Ryan or Michael whatever his name is of Ryanair school of marketing, which all news is good news as far as I'm concerned, whether they're talking about it because I'm charging people to go to the toilet on the plane, or whether they're talking about me about offering really, really cheap flights. They're talking about me, and that's all they care about.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to put something on under a crusher and film it, get Donald Trump. That'd be a better move. Yeah. Crush him.
Yeah, crush him. Yeah, absolutely.
What other waste of oxygen is there? There's loads of things you could put in there.
Indeed. Anyway,
no one get the cry.
We've gone off on a bender there, but yeah. So that
Timberwolf.
Oh yeah,
crush a Timberwolf. Yeah, that wouldn't be. Profit 5 Rev 2s. They can go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All of them.
Anyway, Love them or hate them, Apple have upset a few people, but they've also released a couple of, or will be releasing on Monday, a couple of interesting updates, useful updates to their Logic software. And now we're back to, hopefully, the straight and narrow. What should we talk about next that isn't so should we talk about something brand new from Arturia? Shall we?
Go on, then.
Shall we? All right, then, let's do this. We'll reveal something really brand new from Arturia. It is KeyLab Essential Alpine White.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I got anybody so excited.
Got me excited. Not for the first time, darling.
So this is KeyLab Essential, which is basically the entry-level keyboard controllers from Arturia. They did a 25 key version in Alpine White, so all the keys are white. Now they've released the 49 and the 61 key Mark III versions of this. So if you fancy an all-white keyboard, you no longer have to go and hassle people like Jeff Toman to get custom paint jobs. Not that he's doing those anymore, but that's how he used to do it. You can buy them in the Alpine White out of the box. And these are, I mean, they're really good little controllers. Don't expect anything, don't expect polyphonic aftertouch or weighted keyboards. These are, entry-level base, but they do really integrate well with the Analog Lab software, which comes, you get the pro version of the software. You also get a copy of Ableton Live Lite. You get UVI's Model D, Native Instruments The Gentleman. You get 2 months of Loop Cloud and was it 3 months of 40 lessons of lessons with melodics. So yeah, it's just a basic MIDI controller with a single MIDI output, a pedal control, and a USB-C. And then you've got 8 pads on there. You've got faders and rotaries and a little screen that all of that maps automatically to everything that you call up in Analog Lab Pro, which is a rather cool thing. Of course, is what powers the Astro Lab. But yeah, that's the brand new offering from Arturia. I don't think there's really much to be said there. If you're in the market for a nice controller and you don't mind getting something grubby, because I'd love to see how long they stay that white. Not very long.
I was going to say, I would not get one of these.
No.
Not in white. Are you kidding me? In this house, if they did one in dust and dog hair, I'll have it now.
But you can imagine there's going to be some bands out there that think, yeah, this goes with our aesthetic on stage. We'll grab a pile of these.
And besides, black keys are supposed to be black because it really does help when it comes to playing. Mm-hmm. Putting them all one colour is just asking for trouble.
Yeah. But it's been done over the centuries, over the decades.
Yeah,
they've been
true enough.
So, but you can buy them in regular black and white keys if you want to. This is just an alternative option. So yeah, there you go. That's the latest news from Arturia. I'm sure more news will be forthcoming in the coming days, as they say. Right, let's.
It would look beautiful in my attic. Oh, yeah, it's true enough. Yeah. I'd be able to see where I was going at least. Yeah.
Indeed. Let's talk about something else that that you might have a slight interest, or certainly the guy above your right shoulder might have a say. This is the Legend HZ or HZ or whatever you want to say. Hans Zimmer. So this is Sinaps Audio, who have a Minimoog emulation called the Legend. Now they've got the Legend, the Hans Zimmer version. In fact, we have a video. Why don't we play that for everyone right now? If I can find it. There it is.
Legend HZ. It's just basically sort of an extension of the Mini Moog. It's pretty exciting because what we did was we put 6 oscillators in as opposed to just 3. The other thing which I love is, rather than having that switch that switches in the release phase, you now have a proper release phase. And then if you pop over here, you got a compressor and delay and a reverb and a chorus and a phaser, and of course the old fixed filter bank. But the main thing...
So we'll cut it short there because Hans does ramble a bit, but it's it's Hans. You've got to give respect where respect is due. So this is the Legend, which instead of having 3 oscillators, as most Mini Moogs do, although there are some with 4, this gives you 6 oscillators. It gives you a comprehensive effects section. There's big unison modes, up to 12 voices of polyphony, support for MPE, an advanced arpeggiator and sequencer, available as a plug-in in all, VST audio units and AAX for Pro Tools, and costs $179. Upgrade from the normal version for just 79. And what makes this the Hans Zimmer version is obviously there have been some improvements, but also 200 factory presets jointly developed by Kevin Schroeder and Hans Zimmer. So I imagine when you were watching that video, Kent, the first thing you were going, yeah, fix that, fix that, fix that.
I tell you what, did you see the System 55?
I did.
Yeah, that's the one I restored.
Ooh.
And he
Did you see the skateboard?
hasn't messed with it. Yeah.
There was a skateboard.
Was that the he had the Maximus there as well, didn't he?
He had no, that was the Colossus, I think.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah, it was Colossus. Yeah,
Yeah, Colossus.
yeah, because he started off on what's the vertical Moog thing in the boxes with the wings? Model 15 or Model 30? No, I don't know. I'm not.
There's Model 10, Model 12, Model 15.
Let me show it again. Here you go. That one.
That's not Moog.
That's not a Moog, is it? I was just thinking that it's got too many lights on it to be.
Yeah, that's not Moog. I don't think
not a
not Motown
Beth,
either. No, I don't think.
I'm now displaying my complete ignorance of all things modular. Somebody in the chat, I'm sure, will tell us what that is. It's big and it's black and it's got wings.
Yeah. Well, at least it's kept the 55 in there anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know where the 2500 is. I didn't see it there.
No, it's probably around the other side somewhere. Yeah, the skateboard wasn't actually a skateboard. It looked like something you wheel something around on, but I was just being facetious.
Oh, it's probably a Back to the Future hoverboard that they gave him.
Probably, yeah.
That actually works.
So, this is also NKS compatible. So if you've got one of those Complete Control S-Series keyboards, you'll get a nice, lovely display of this when you call it up. Another Mini Moog. Another updated Mini Moog piece of software. We've got Mini Moog replications coming out of the wazoo, whether they're hardware or software. Is this worth 179? I mean, I bought the soft tube one on your recommendation and do not regret it.
Oh no, that's a beauty. That's a little sweetheart. That is.
Yeah. But I've also got the Moog Mini Moog, which is good. Got Mini Monster 2 from G-Force.
Ironically,
Mini
I
Moog
didn't
from
find the
Arturia.
Moog Mini Moog sounded as much like a Mini Moog as the soft tube one does. So,
yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this takes the Mini Moog concept and builds upon it and doubles the amount of oscillators and gives you all of this stuff too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if Hans likes it, well, then it's got to be good. I mean, he looks like he's the cat that got the cream right there.
Yeah, well, look, putting a release into the ADSR, into the ADR, no, ADS section. I'll get it right in a minute. It's just, it does give you more control, more visual control, straight off the bat.
And the fixed filter bank as well is a nice touch. Although you can buy replications of the fixed filter bank as separate plugins. Elsewhere.
Yeah. But still miss the trick about not having individual control to each frequency. Like the I did the upgrade on his one. I noticed it wasn't in the unit. He's probably got it somewhere else,
Yeah.
where you put a socket onto each frequency, and then it's a CV control, so you can sequence different bands and stuff in the filter, or LFOs, or with a sequencer, or whatever. And so 6 VCOs. Does 6 VCOs sound better than 3? Technically,
Should sound
not really.
twice as bad.
It should, but it really doesn't. They start cancelling each other out slightly, you know. So, I mean, it's all right if you get it nice and wide, or you could record it twice. You know, copy track, put in another instance, and there's
Do what
6
they used to
VCOs.
do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it does the same thing.
Yeah.
Technically.
I mean, I saw this.
I'd like to see it cheaper than. I think it's fine. It's just, I think if it was 120,
99.
yeah, I mean, it might be pushing it, but because it is new. But if it was 120 quid, I'd certainly consider it if it's going to give me enough stuff to play with.
And again, you know, at the end of the day, the consumer wins. They have choice. They can go for this. They can go for one of the many other versions, whether it's hardware or software. But no, this is nice, and I'm sure that the fact it's got his name on it means that it will sell a good number of units. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice there's actually features in it, because like I said on the pub, you know, normally with Hans Zimmer's, if it's got Hans Zimmer's name on it, it means it's 20 dB louder than that. You know, so it's just louder.
Let's talk about a proper synthesizer. Now, this one you probably didn't get a chance to look at, because I only dropped it in because it only officially was announced at 5 o'clock UK time.
Oh.
And that is this lovely thing called the Murmux, which is an 8-voice polysynth from Dreadbox in a box that looks like it's got carpet wrapped around it. I mean, it does look a lovely, lovely thing. Let's watch a video about it. Got one right here. So there you go. This is the Dreadbox Murmux Adept Edition. Full analog 8-voice synthesizer with a smart mixer oscillator design section, 24 dB per octave resonant low pass, 6 dB per octave high pass, and 6 dB per octave low pass boost. 2 envelope generators, 9 LFOs, 1 per voice and a global one, that's nice. Analog stereo bucket brigade delay, chorus, flanger, and comb filter. A nostalgic hybrid stereo delay of up to 1 second, stereo spread system, 1 knob function control, 150 presets, 399 preset slots, beautiful handmade wooden enclosure, and it does look the dog's leathery bits. I must say, this is a nice look at that fabric on that. It's nice fabric. Feel the fabric, feel the lining. MIDI, USB, separate audio in and out, and headphones at the back there, and as you may well have seen, limited to 300 units. And then, of course, there's the price, which is €2,699, excluding VAT, by the way. So you're looking at over £3,000 for that. Ships in 2 to 3 working days, but there are literally only 300, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're sold by the end of the day. Because the last, what was it? It was the drum machine, the Percons. They did a limited edition version of that, and by the time we went to publish that story on Gear News, it had sold out. So they, crazy. But a lovely thing, I saw the original one of these at Superbooth last year, I think it was, and it sounds massive, but that's a lot of money for for an 8-voice analog synth, no keyboard. It's not it's not a desperately bad thing. There's no CV and no sort of considering Dreadbox are manufacture modules.
It'd be you'd have a lot of CVs being an 8-note poly. Sort of like probably let that go.
Yeah, but no, I mean, look, it's a lovely thing.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of controls for a poly synth.
Let's get back to the proper picture here. If you've got a top-down shot, this'll have to do. Oh no, wrong way. There we go. Bring that up there. There we go. So what do we got? VCOs at the top, and then the filter next door. Effects, and then the LFOs, and then the envelope generators down there. So looks fairly straightforward. Most people get their heads around to that. Nice little display, and I mean, to be honest, I just love the build of the thing. It looks very nice, but for that money and for an 8-voice polyphonic analog synth, there's probably better value for money. I don't know. I guess it's what you want, and if you want that Dreadbox sound,
it's a niche market.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
at that price,
limiting it to 300, it's getting very niche.
Yeah.
In fact.
I wonder once that has sold out, whether they'll just do this version, but with a regular box and sell it for a bit cheaper. I don't know. We'll find out next
Separate
week,
modules.
I'm sure. I'll go up to Dreadbox and see if I can find out, but. Yeah, it's a nice thing. Certainly, it packs a lot into a small box. Well, a smallish box. But yeah, I should look at that fabric. Look at that, very nice. What do you call that? Is that herringbone?
Yeah, and it gets very dusty.
I bet it does. Yeah. Looks like something that could have been created.
You have to hoover every 6 months.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. It's the Murmix Adept version or edition. Only 300. Get them while they're up. 2,699.
Well, this is a marketing strategy that's beginning to appear more and more now, where you manufacture for niche market. And I can understand that. It must be very hard to compete out in the open markets. So produce something niche. And by reducing how many you're going to make, it makes it kind of special at the end of the day. And then the Ty Unwins and the Hans Zimmers of the world go.
Yep, have one of those. Yeah. No, it's a lovely thing. But if I had €2,699 to spend on an 8-voice poly, this would be somewhere down the list. Not because it doesn't sound or look amazing, but I could probably get more value for money elsewhere. I mean, you think that's the same price. Well, obviously this is before tax, but to equate it, you got a 6-voice poly brute will cost you, well, currently 2,499.
Yeah,
and that's including tax, and that's got a keyboard on it and a big old modulation matrix and the sequencer and an arpeggiator and loads of effects and yeah. So I guess
to be honest with you, if I was going to be in the market for one, I'd have to hear a lot more, because the sounds I heard in the demo were not making me want to rush out and buy one.
It's only like a 50. I mean, Andertons apparently. Thank you, Tom, in the chat from Synth Anatomy. Hi, we were talking till the early hours yesterday, or this morning, should I say? Tom just reminded me that there is a good demo video on the Andertons YouTube website. Of course, they do some really, really good demos. Haven't seen it myself, but we'll take a look. And he's also pointed out that Thomann are selling that for $2,699, and that includes the tax. So they've obviously,
worked something out.
Just do it as a loss leader. It just gets trade in. But
well,
there we go.
They know that 2,699 is sort of like, that's really pushing it. If we're going to put tax on it, we're not going to sell any.
That's it. So. I guess if you're at Superbooth, you'll probably be able to hear one of those. They'll probably have one on the stand. So a nice boutique thing, maybe not for everyone, but still nice, I guess. Talking of nice things, I don't know. We had a bit of a laugh about this next thing when it originally came out. And before we go there, let's watch a video.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Chompy Club. In this video, we're going to explore the new send and return feature that's a part of Chompy's new firmware update. For this update, we collaborated with our friends at Chase Bliss to optimize a new way to integrate external effects pedals like this mood pedal here directly with Chompy's sampling engine. And to celebrate that, we're also introducing this new Treasure Island colorway with limited edition Chase Bliss graphics in it. So to kick things off, I'll show you how to access some of the new features, and then we'll also discuss some different cable routing options with pedals like a single pedal, a couple pedals, and then I'm going to do my best along the way to point out a couple things that maybe aren't as obvious with this new feature so that you can best integrate it into your own workflow. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned for more.
Oh, I'm still not 100% sure about Chompy Club. I mean, it got funded just like that when it went on, and has sold loads. And now they're teaming up with Chase Bliss to bring us this Treasure Island version, which is lovely and colourful and has a limited edition paint job or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be 527 quid. It's a limited release. The pre-sale is open now. Order window closes at the end of May, and they start shipping June, July of this year. And they've updated the firmware. And this is, if I'm understanding this correctly, this is not a new version of the Chompy Club. They've done what Arturia have done, and that is they've built in some hardware functionality, but not turned it on until this new firmware version has come out, which allows send and returns into it. And they've teamed up with the wonderful people at Chase Bliss, who make some pretty incredible effects. And there will be this pop-up event at Superbooth next week, so you can go and check that out there if you're going. I mean, we had a bit of a giggle with this when it debuted, and said that it just looked like something for people with beards, check shirts, and man buns. And it looked more of a toy, but it's actually a pretty useful and interesting, fun tool. I guess it's what are you in this for? Are you in it for cute, creative, quirky tools, or something that's a bit more hard wearing and gig worthy? I don't know. But there you go, Treasure Island Chompy. You getting one?
I was just thinking. No, sorry. I was just thinking. That age-old question has now been answered about what would happen if the TR-909 was made by Disney. I can see uses for this in certain ways, in certain music by certain people, and it will divulge no more information than that. It's very colourful. It's very do you know what? Old synth addict's gonna love me going into my Japanese schoolgirl routine again, because this is gonna make me want to do it. Seriously. It's not for everybody, clearly, but it seems like a clever piece of gear, actually, I must admit.
Under the hood, it's absolutely,
and
it's clever.
It was actually sounding okay. But I did notice our friend Ben Simpson is looking for one of those dials.
Oh yes, for the Waldorf.
For the Waldorf, yeah. So spray it red. Bob's your auntie.
Not cheap, but hey, you.
We can nick one off one at Superbooth or something.
Good too.
Oh, where'd that go? Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh dear. You've lost your knob.
Yeah. Oi.
Easily done in Berlin. No, it's cute and it's functional, and if it helps you have fun with music and be creative, then all for it. I'm not a massive fan of the clicky clacky keys, to be honest. For 527 quid? Again, you know, you can pay your money and take your choice. I mean, you can get, if you want a lo-fi sampler, get the lo-fi 12XT from Sonicware and save yourself 100 quid.
Yeah.
Or get a sample track, or get, there's a whole bunch of other things that are the same price or cheaper, that don't have clicky clacky keys and won't look like you're playing with your kids Fisher Price stuff when you whack this out at Starbucks with your chocolate mocha skinny latte, whatever.
That's annoying. There's only 15 white buttons.
Oh,
You couldn't use them on, revamping a TR-909.
yeah.
You have to get 2 of them.
Oh well. But no, look, I'm going to go to the stand and I'm gonna play it, and maybe I'll change my mind. I won't lose sleep though.
And donkeys might fly.
Indeed. But there you go. So limited edition Treasure Island Chompy, built and designed in conjunction with Chase Bliss. You don't get any of those effects pedals, but you do have the new firmware ability to send and return within the unit itself. So if you've already bought a Chompy, then and there's the original, then you just do the firmware upgrade and away you go. But it's fun, and we'll give him that. So there we go. Chompyclub.com. I'm sure the mods have put that into the chat, and we'll see those guys at Superbooth next week, which we will talk about shortly. Before we do, I think we've got a couple more pieces of news, and say that the news is very thin on the ground at the moment because
Well, you're doing well.
yeah, but there's certainly no really juicy news to get involved in, because everybody's saving everything up for next week. Obviously, I mean, I've been working my little fingers to the bone, typing and stuff up in readiness for next week, because it's all coming out next week. So thankfully, most of the companies are giving us a few days in advance notice of details and images and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're kind of bereft of certain things at the moment. However, we've not done too badly. This is the next thing. I have thoughts on this. This is we've actually got a video for this as well. So let's introduce it via the method of video. I think here we go. Yes.
Connect 2 is the most user-friendly audio interface ever made. It gives you everything you need to make your voice and instruments sound sensational with just a few clicks. Auto Setup finds the perfect settings for you, and the integrated clip guard protects your signal from overloading. A simple click on the denoiser is enough to get rid of background noise, and the compressor delivers a polished sound, just like your favorite record. To make it even easier to find your perfect tone, you can choose from 3 iconic preamp sounds: clean for perfect clarity, warm for a vintage vibe, and vivid to bring your sound alive. The touch-based user interface feels great and offers precise controls with clear visual feedback, including mute functions for all ins and outs. Give your setup a personal touch with individual LED colors and use the custom button for smooth workflows. The unique combination of great usability, powerful features, and incredible specs makes Connect 2 the most user-friendly audio interface.
So there we have it, Lewitt Connect 2, the most user-friendly audio interface you're ever likely to have. Look, I like the look of this. I like the design of it. I was put in mind particularly of the propeller head balance unit from some years ago. This is a lot slimmer and sleeker, but it's a simple audio interface with sort of basic connectivity at the rear. There is a Connect 6 version as well, but the let's see if we've got a picture of the rear connections here. No, they're not even going to give me a picture. Oh, there we go. There it is. So, what do we got? We have an XLR with phantom power. We've got an instrument, a high Z input, and we've got balanced outputs. We've got a headphone jack. You've got one of each, actually, 6.4 and a 3.5, and a USB-C connection for data and power. And that's it, kids. That is all you get. But what you also get is this very swanky touch interface. And this is where I have, or begin to have, some issues. That's too easy for me to brush my hand over and knock something on or off or adjust something. I prefer to have sturdy controls on an interface. I like the touch concept, but I don't think it would be particularly safe. Certainly in my studio. It's a nice little thing. Comes with a little software package as well, as you saw in there. You've got different. You've got some effects. You've got a compressor and the denoise, and you've got kind of filtering going on there as well. Let's see. I haven't got the price. I lost the price. Can't remember how much this was now. I will find that out for you in just a moment. But nice little thing. Maybe a little bit of design over functionality or safe functionality. You could pretty it up, changing the colours. But I don't know. Not for me.
What's the other one like?
Really. The other one is the Connect 6. It's an odd looking thing, isn't it? Again, what the connectivity is like on the back of that. Not a huge amount more. You get an extra. Well, you get combi inputs, which you didn't have on the other one.
Yeah.
You've got a mobile input via USB-C and an auxiliary input as well. It's USB powered, portable speakers. It doesn't really add a huge amount, but actually it looks like this is maybe geared more towards mobile users than the other one. But that's the Connect 6. But the Connect 2, £169. Not an awful price, but when you think for £169 you could probably get a Scarlett 2i2, maybe a 2i4 for a little bit more money. That's ballpark.
What's that thing I got?
I don't know. Leprosy?
No, hang on. The one was from...
I don't know.
I don't know. Let me check.
Go have a look.
Give me a moment while I just peruse.
Let's play some background music while Kent's looking for that.
Here it is.
There you go.
My little portable one.
Your little portable one.
There you go. Oh, the Revelator.
Oh, the Revelator,
Sonus.
yes.
Yes, three Sonus with XLRs on the front, MIDI, USB-C, main outs and headphones on the back.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of software, not much to go wrong. Yeah. I think that was only about 120, 115 quid, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this is nice and it's stylish, but my main problem is the fact that it looks just too easy to knock it out of, you brush your hand over it and you've chosen something you didn't want to choose, or you've adjusted the volume, or you've muted. I'm not confident. Somebody put in the chat, I can't remember because it's gone flying by, it said it looks like one of those tea warmers that you plug into your USB port. And if you had one of those, you probably get those confused.
I need one of those.
Yeah. I've got a thermos. Well, not thermos. It's not thermos, but it's one of those insulated mugs, and it stays hot for ages. I'll tell you who we should ask.
Can you hear coughing?
I can, yeah. It wasn't the coffin that carried him off. It was the coffin they carried him off in.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
Bonsoir.
What are you doing there? Told you.
Well, I thought I'd pop in. I've been watching.
If I catch anything.
Seeing you squonk it up, and I thought I'd better just jump in and provide some expert advice.
Well, go on then. Tell us what you think about this.
Bag of shite.
There you go.
Okay.
It's actually, it says it can make you sound brilliant. Your vocals sound brilliant. Good luck with that.
Yeah. What more do you need? I mean, look, you can stick this in, with a laptop in your backpack, and it would be a nice little interface to take out with you. No knobs to break off, so that's one advantage of having a touch interface. But I just think it's a little too dangerous.
How much is it?
169.
Do you know that's not bad?
It's not awful, but for that money, you can get maybe something a bit more substantial, like as Kemp pointed out, his little Revelator, a bit more chunky, a bit more well built. Yeah, portable enough.
Okay.
All depends, what your needs are. I mean, if you're looking to travel as light as possible with, then this is.
Does that look like the top part of the head of K9 from Doctor
it does.
Who?
Now you say it. Yeah, you just need to draw some
I can't see that
googly
now.
eyes.
Put googly eyes on it.
Yeah, and then and a little proboscis, whatever they call it, that thing that came out.
Waff.
An aerial. A little radar thing.
Yeah, a little radar ears.
That's K9. That's K9.
There you go. They should call that K9.
That's what they should have called it.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. 169. It's a nice, cute little thing. That's all we can really say about that. One more thing to talk about before we move on to Superbooth and our predictions and wishes and wants and desires. So guys and girls and animals, vegetables and minerals and everything in between, if you want to start putting these things into the chat now, tell us what you'd like to see, what you think you might see, and what you don't want to see at Superbooth next week, and we'll maybe discuss those. Let's bring in this. Let's do that. We'll do it with a video. We'll do it properly in style. I think that's enough of that for now. We get it. This is Noisy 2 from Expressive E. There it is in all of its glory. It's normally €149. You can pick it up for $89.40 at the moment. It's actually for an Expressive E instrument that is designed to work with Osmos and other MPE controllers. It looks like you can get a big range of sounds, but also it's got an interface that is understandable and you can manipulate to your heart's content, which is a lot easier than the one that comes with what was it, the what's the thing that comes with the Osmos? Impenetrable. Kent, you've got one?
What?
What's the complicated software that comes with the Osmos?
Logic.
Windows 2000? No,
the instrument.
Harken.
Yeah, what's it called though? It's
Harken
called
engine. It's called Clinky Clanky.
See, we're experts. Egan Matrix, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, Egan Matrix, of course.
Yeah, the Egan Matrix.
Yes.
This looks a lot easier to use than the Egan Matrix. It sounds really, really good.
Quantum theory
really
is easier than the Egan Matrix.
Yeah, true. And of course, it's not just exclusively for Osmos, but it can be used with any MPE-based MIDI controller or non-MPE MIDI controller as well. They're not discriminatory. I don't know, whatever. They're not that.
Discriminatory.
Yeah. Lots and lots of stuff. It looks great and sounds great. And had I got or maybe I did have an MPE controller, this might be a really, really interesting instrument to have. As a resident Osmos user for now, anyway, because I know that you are thinking about binning it off. What are your thoughts on it? Does the advent of something like this, something that has an interface that looks a lot more easy to understand, does this maybe persuade you to keep the Osmos hanging around or not?
No, I bought this. I bought this, and
good.
but I use it on my Rolly.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because
it's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah. No, I can't get on with the whole key wiggle thing. It's driving me insane, and I have abandoned the whole idea. And it will be going up for sale at an extremely reasonable price very soon.
Indeed.
But there are we believe possibly other controllers coming in the not too distant future that might take advantage of this. That means you don't need to have the Osmos and you have the Rolly already.
I couldn't possibly speculate until after I've sold it.
I've got 30 quid.
Yeah. Actually, you know, for $89.40, this actually is something that
It's not bad, is it? It's really
I'm tempted
not.
because
Do
the
you know what,
sound is really nice.
It's
with
a
this,
really lovely sounding. Yeah.
Just with poly aftertouch and with some expression pedals and whatever, this does sound good. I mean, it's the only thing is it is a bit noisy.
Haha.
Yeah, the thing is, it actually sounds good even if you have, just no on-off. It still actually creates some really, really decent sounds.
Yeah.
You want note off as well as note on. You're greedy.
I have both, mate.
They'll never put that in MIDI.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, the price is really good for what it is. You're getting a lot. You're getting a lot for your 89 quid.
Actually, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
I did have a little look, and yeah.
If you already own Noisy One, by the way, if you log into your account, you'll get a bigger discount. So,
Guess who did
so
that?
Ken, I mean, I know you keep sort of mentioning that you just don't get on with the Osmos, but I've seen there's lots of other people that kind of love it and get on with it for all sorts of different reasons. What is it? Just because it's a learning thing? Because you've got Rollies as well, and you quite like the Rolly. So what's the difference between the two? What?
With it's an action thing. When you try to do big complex chords, it's a nightmare on an Osmos. Absolutely nightmare to do big chords. Look at the video. When you're getting really sort of like crazy with the notation, he's not playing anything on the Osmos to do that. He's using like a normal keyboard to one side and his touchpaddy job thing up there.
But can you not set the keyboard so that you get the reaction, the reactivity you expect, and then just add, so can you not sort of null all the additional stuff and then just dial it in when you need it? Or is that not the case?
yeah, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, you can wind it down. But when you wind it down, and then it's like, so what's the point in owning the Osmos? Do you know what I mean? So, what I can achieve on the Rise or even the Seaboard is next to impossible for me to do on the Osmos because the other keys are in the way, essentially.
And are you talking about the sort of push and pull along the keys and the strip?
And mostly the left and right, the wiggle. I'm having a horrible problem with the wiggle. So
Fiona told me that.
Yes, well, it's because I play big wide chords.
Yeah.
There's a pull on your fingers, and if you got the wiggle on, it's like playing a detuned guitar going blang, like that. It's horrible.
Yeah. Anyway, I like this. I think it sounds great. I'm curious to have a go. So who knows? I might just do that. But I'm conscious of the time. I want to give a little bit extra time to our little kind of pre-Superbooth discussion, seeing as that is coming up. So one last time, that is the Noisy 2 from Expressive E. It is normally €149. It's 89.40 at the moment. If you own Noisy 1, you get an even bigger discount. So there you go. Right. So... yeah, Superbooth 24.
Shall I give it all away? Because I did put a little post up. I can recap it if you want.
No, you're all right.
No, I can. I can if you want. I know exactly what's coming.
Go on then, tell us.
Well, Cherry Audio are launching a new plugin based entirely on a synthesizer.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Arturia are going to release their new articulated lorry library. Right? G-Force will launch the Oscar Wilde. And then if we get to hardware, there's a bit going on in here as well, because people have looked at what Behringer are doing and said, well, you know what? We can have some of that. So Moog are bringing out an Odyssey. ARP are bringing out a Model D, Roland are bringing out a CS90, Oberheim a Synthex, Yamaha a System 800, Emu a System, not a System, an S700, Akai a Proteus 3000 and a Prophet 106. And what I'm really hoping for is a Mumbai-based synthesizer to finally come out called the Bolly Moog. That's what I really want. That's what I think is coming. So
You were up until 3:30 this morning writing this, weren't you?
yeah.
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 Interesting stuff. Well, we'll see.
I want the Bolly Moog.
The Bolly Moog, yeah, that sounds fun. That does sound fun. Anyway, Superbooth is nearly upon us.
Chapati 8.
Here it is. Kicks off for the general public on Thursday the 16th. Goes for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There is loads of stuff. There's loads of people there. I'm not going to go through everyone, but everyone who's anyone in terms of a manufacturer or developer will probably be there. Most of them will anyway. And maybe some people are going to be there, but maybe not going to be on site, which is interesting. More on that maybe next week. Or the week after, maybe, because we'll do a kind of Superbooth roundup the week after, like a little post-mortem kind of thing. So what I thought we should do is maybe ask our esteemed audience what they think they want to see, what they think they'd like to see, what they don't want to see. Maybe. So we've got some interesting stuff. Let's start off with the most obvious question is, when is Superbooth coming to Warrington? From Andy Synchrotron. Why not? I mean, Warrington synthesizer show. That would be good.
It's grim up north.
Yeah, isn't it? By the way, if you want to have some Saturday morning fun, go and watch Andy's channel, Synchrotron, 10 o'clock in the morning UK time. Always fun to be had there. Wagoo's wanting the 32 voice Akai Timberwolf.
Does that sound like a car accident on the M25?
It sounds like something you would torture something.
It sounds like a pack howl, a Wolf 32 voice.
The main protagonist in Saw 4.
Koshtikai, I want to see the synth that doesn't exist. I know what you're talking about. Oh wait, no, I'd like to see a new Osmos, and he follows that up with, maybe can we see baby Osmoses or bigger Osmoses? So a big one or a smaller one. That would be interesting. You know, I don't know if that's a possible thing. And it's interesting, we've got synthesizer manufacturers like that have just got like one thing that they're really well known for, because another suggestion that we had in here was from Kissing the Machine. ASM's next offering. Might we see something new from ASM? Because let's be honest, they've hashed that, they flogged, should I say, that hydrosynth concept to death, and it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but it's been a while. They must have been working on something, surely. So might we see something new from ASM?
Don't call me Shirley.
What might it be?
Just don't call me Shirley.
What might it be?
Oh, yeah. What could it be? Drum machine.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
From
Why not?
ASM? No.
You haven't done one yet.
Maybe they'll go for. Maybe they'll do a genuine analog synth with poly aftertouch.
Maybe they'll go down the granular route.
Whatever they do next, whenever that might be, whether it's something we'll see this week or not,
It will be interesting.
it'll be very interesting
Yeah,
because it has been a fantastic success. But now let's move on. Come on. No Genos 3. I'm absolutely in agreement with that. That would be fantastic. We don't see the Genos 3.
I was looking forward to that.
Wagyu says maybe we're due for a new synth from Novation. I have heard nothing.
The Super
Along
Duper
those.
Nova.
Super duper Nova, yeah.
The black hole.
Oh, the Singularity. Is there a synth called the Singularity? If not, there should be.
It should be, shouldn't it?
There
I'll
should
make
be.
a note of that, actually.
How about a Waldorf M keyboard edition? Interesting. How about Waldorf update their PPG plugin to something that you can see with the normal human eye?
That would work.
That would be very nice.
How about a tape-based sort of sampling thing, which doesn't? It just uses recordings. You could use that to play back. I don't know.
The planet's running out of tape.
Oh yeah.
There is. I saw today Robin Vincent has got a module, a Eurorack module that has a micro cassette recorder on it.
Huh.
Yeah. Which looked amazing, and I really need to check that. Oh, I don't know if he's done a video, but he certainly posted a photo. You know those little, they used to use in dictaphones. Do you use a phone? No, I use my finger. You put this. It's got the exposed tape mechanism on the front, and you just put this in, and then I guess it's like a compact version of a Roland Space Echo or something like that. I don't know. How about Genos 2 in Alpine White?
That would work.
Yeah.
In a
Then you couldn't
snowstorm.
see it. Maybe.
How about a multicoloured one like that thing you showed about 3 items back, which is a sample?
Oh, what, the Chompy Club?
The Chompy. How about a Genos Chompy?
Ooh.
That would
It's a
that would
nightmare I
work.
want to wake up from.
Not that I've taken any drugs to help me get through all of this, and I'm just having flights of fancy here. But yeah, that would work.
Here's something interesting from Wagyu. UDO posted a shadow on their Instagram, implying maybe there is something that just a Super 6 Gemini. I'm not sure if you typed that. Was it maybe a Gemini module? You know, because they did a desktop, didn't they? The Super 6. Maybe it's a Gemini desktop version.
What's the synth that, or what synths do our lovely viewers think have been sort of lost opportunities that never happened, that should have, that maybe it's time to bring out now? That would be an interesting one to.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going through the questions here, or the. Oh, sorry, Wagyu's comment missed out the word other. Something other than a Super 6 or so it could be a completely new UDO. That'd be interesting. I haven't seen that. I don't follow them on, so maybe I need to. I'm just going through and finding all of these suggestions that we've got in here.
That's the one.
The Noam Chomsky.
That wins.
Very good. Very good.
There
So what
already
else?
been a Lego CS80.
There has.
Yeah. Fiona tried to get me one for Christmas. I said, no, I want a PlayStation 4.
That'd be good. Yeah. So we've got this. Let me just. We've got everything there. I think I've caught up with most of the suggestions. Right. Let's bring these in. So, apparently, Steve Elwood says they're working on a new simpler synth interface built on top of the Eager Matrix. So that's good, but no timescale. Don't know whether we'll see that at Superbooth. This is a bit of an in-joke. This is Craig. Craig is from the Bob Moog Foundation. And when we were having dinner one night, we were interrupted by not one, but 2 mega dance troops doing break dancing right next to our table and then coming around cap in hand. And we're just like, oh. Yeah. But that would be interesting. See if we can find some more street dancers. Volca cowbell. I'd pay for that. Serious one.
I'll order it. You pay for it.
All right then. Serious one. Korg Kronos replacement.
Yeah. There needs to be a new Korg Super station.
Sort of flagship. Yeah.
Yeah, they need another flag. Yes.
What about Teenage Engineering launching something for 20-somethings? Because they've been around a long time now, so it should now be 20s or 30s something, shouldn't it? What about Midlife Crisis Engineering?
Yeah. What was it last year? They launched the picnic table.
Right.
Or the wallpaper table, whatever it was. It was a table. Like,
Oh,
that's
God,
right,
yes.
they did, didn't they?
yeah.
The
And they were
wallpaper table,
incredibly
yeah.
snooty when you went to their stand, which had typically teenage engineering stuff. And they'd got I think it was a VW camper van type thing. And they got it all opened up and they got the table in the middle. And anytime you went near that table, they told you to go away. It was just like, well, this is a show. Oh, apparently they're not going to be at Superbooth. There we go. That's good. Okay. More room for other people. Stop it.
Go away. Yeah, sorry, I was clicking as you were.
Bossick247 says, I'd like to see more of the Supercritical Redshift 6. That rings a bell. And I can't remember what that was now. But yes, if it's there, we'll maybe get some footage of it. James Dyson says, a rack version of the Yamaha Montage M. They never did one of the other ones, though, did they? So I don't necessarily see that happening, but it would be nice if Yamaha were there and were showing the full software.
We did the ES as a rack, though, didn't they?
That
Yeah,
would be
but they
good.
stopped. Yeah.
That would be good.
And that's a long time ago now, isn't it?
Yeah. They did motif racks as well, didn't they? Yeah.
I think they did, yeah. I think they did, yeah.
But they stopped doing with the montages, so. Talking of Volcas, Volca Keys 2. Yeah. Roland System 16, says Matt Evans. He'd like to see that.
How about a regen that works out of the box?
That's not a bad thing. But don't they already have... don't they already have something... what's their latest thing?
Who?
Go
Roland?
or something. Yeah, Go or something like that.
That was... Well, that's
16 voice,
it's
isn't it?
It's a 16 voice Zencore based thing that you can download stuff from the cloud from.
So that's kind
It's
of
not. It's more of a home keyboard than a a fully functional synthesizer like the System 8 or something. You'd be better off with a Phantom or something. But I think they've kind of abandoned that whole system concept. I think devoid of funk. How can you be devoid of funk? Everyone's got the funk. I'd like pressure sensitivity on my up 6. Sorry, wonder what that said there for a minute. And a Lindrum, please. Well, Luma 1. If you want the Lindrum, there is the Luma 1. But I doubt that the boys from Luma 1 will be at Superbooth. I'd be amazed if they were. Love to see Joe there, but yeah, pressure sensitivity on the Op 6 is only available on the Op 6. What do they call it? The big one. The big one, the big Op 6, the 61 note Op 6, Op 6 Deluxe or whatever they've called it now. That's got aftertouch on it, but the 37 note ones, none of those have, which was a big disappointment. Otherwise, I might have bought one.
I was going to suggest possibly like the Roland 100 as a complete system, the System 100 again, but updated. But there's so many synths out there now doing it, including Arturia doing their things. It's kind of is there room for that?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
James Dyson is a Moog Mavis 2. Yeah, be interesting.
Something else about a Moog with a name that doesn't make you go, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mavis. Nice. Oh, Mavis. Or a family member. The Moog stepfather or something like that.
Uncle Ted.
Rumours are that the Moog Muse. I've heard rumours that it's going to be there. I've also heard rumours that it's not going to be there, and then I've heard other rumours that it's going to be there and not going to be there. And I can't say any more than that.
Schrodinger's rumours.
It's Schrodinger's Moog.
Yeah.
It's only not there if it's no.
Anyway, the backs.
How about the Moog Mordor? Mordor.
So the tag, and then the Moog Taggart, it's Mordor.
Mordor.
That's one for the Brits.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be an interesting one because this has kind of been not so much leaked, but Pittsburgh haven't. They've said they're working on the Voltage Lab 2. I know they are. I've seen it. It's lovely. But I can't say any more than that. That's all I can say. But yes, that will be at Superbooth, I am told. So that'll be a good one. I'm struggling to keep up here. Let's see if we've got anything. Oh, God, we've gone way... Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, this is true. Behringer will pop up at the parking before the entry of Superbooth with a truck showing all their new synth, the Booper Booth edition. Oh, they wouldn't dare show their faces at Superbooth, would they? They didn't even dare show up at NAMM. They did something 50 miles away that year, many years ago. What else have we got? We've got
Moog.
the Jacob Rees. Now that's a good name.
No.
I like that SEO head. Well done.
Very good.
So let's see if anybody else has got any.
dog.
Mugung
Analog.
Festa.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, I was watching Sonic State, and Nick was in the same position on Wednesday. In that, we were trying to speculate about what's going to be at Superbooth whilst not breaking any NDAs. So on that, all I will say is
Genos 3.
There's going to be a Genos 3. There you go.
Yeah.
I can categorically state that out loud. I might be completely wrong, but no. All I can say is that this year there are going to be some pretty amazing things that are going to make people very happy, and conversely they'll probably make people unhappy because of the colour of it, or the price of it, or the size of it, or the the lack of size of it, or whatever. But there are going to be some really, really cool things, and my plan is to get as much footage and of the things and the people who make those things and bring those to you. Whether I bring them to you during the show next week, as in over the 3 days, and upload them to the channel, or whether I'll just save them all, because the thing is, there are people that do that stuff better than me.
Surely not.
Yes,
I don't believe.
absolutely.
No, I don't believe it for a moment. Kent, do you?
So, if you want live or as near to live video updates, go to Sonic State, because Nick and his team do the most amazing job, and there's absolutely no way that somebody like me could keep up with them. So what I will be doing is I'll be gathering, hopefully, maybe some slightly exclusive stuff. I've got some appointments booked, but maybe we can take the footage that I get, hopefully, fingers crossed, and we'll show that the week after next in our Superbooth roundup show after the event. And maybe we can put some exclusive stuff up on the Patreon page.
Have you heard about the Behringer social media thing?
No.
They're launching a new social media thing for bass players called Bassfook. I'm not saying I made that up or anything, but
Anyway, Dr. Mike says that is absolutely the right way to go. I'm assuming you're talking about the way that I might or might not video stuff. Yeah. Looking forward to hanging out with Dr. Mike. I had to give him my phone number.
Hi,
and everything.
Mike. Hi, Mike.
It's okay, no. Hopefully we'll be. Well, I know that we'll be hanging out at least one evening event, maybe more, and we'll definitely be hanging out at the show. So, looking forward to that. I think, as I said last week, I think the thing I am looking forward to the most about all of this is the people, and getting to meet old friends and new friends. So Manny's going to be staying in the same hotel, which is going to be cool. Myself, Carl Bedford, Ben Breslin, and a bunch of other people are going out for a meal on Thursday, and hopefully getting over to... Metlay's already texting me. Look at that. Thursday night we're going out for a meal and hopefully watching the footy, because Carl's a Leeds fan, I'm a Norwich fan, and we're playing each other in the playoff semi-finals on that night.
Fighting in the car park afterwards.
Yeah. There's a really... I'm going to a pre-Superbooth event on the Wednesday hosted by Neumann, the legendary microphone manufacturers. Maybe they moan as well.
Microphone, yeah.
Microphone.
And also hosted by Orchestral Tools, who are a sample library
dark.
company. Yeah, they're
the
a sample library company who I had never heard of. But when I said to Kent, have you ever heard of Orchestral Tools? He said, heard of them. Have a look at what I've got.
Followed by, duh.
But no, they're very good. So, they're doing something on the Wednesday, and then Thursday we're out with the lads. Friday, I'm not entirely sure if I can say where I'm going Friday night, but I'm going somewhere very special to see someone very, very special perform. So that'll be cool. And then Saturday night, I'm currently free, which might be a good thing because I fly home on a Sunday. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Anyone in the chat going, apart from the obvious, like Mike and Carl Bedford, I think has been around in there as well.
I'm not.
You're not going.
Kent, are you going?
Strangely, no.
Yeah. Oh, what should we do?
We could get up to all sorts.
We could do a show without Robbie.
Well, actually, let's tell people about what's happening next week, shall we?
Why not?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a show.
No.
There's going to, and these two will be hosting it, but they will be joined no less at the hip by
Yuli?
at least a couple of people from Cherry Audio. So you'll be able to talk about all the stuff. Yeah, all the stuff. You bet. Wear your Cherry Audio shirts. I'll let you. There you go. I haven't got mine on tonight. Mine's in the wash because I want to be sure that I can take it to... there you go. Look at that. Look at those lovely things.
There you go. Look at that.
So all mine are in the wash so I can take them to Berlin. But yeah, we're going to be joined by Dan and Mitchell again, at the very least, to talk about their brand new synthesizer, which will have launched 3 days before.
Based on a synthesizer.
Yeah.
It is. It's based on a synthesizer.
So, join us for that. If you can't make it to Superbooth, make it to that at least.
Yeah.
And I'll try and join in because for the first... Oh, actually, no, because we're an hour ahead in Berlin. So when it's 8 o'clock, it'll be... Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Time... Oh, no.
Time travel. Yeah. No, I won't be able to join because as soon as the show starts, this event that I'm going to in the evening starts.
I'm sure you'll find time to do one quick...
It's all right. We can ruin the franchise on our own.
That's if they let me take a phone in, because
you can break all the NDAs like everyone else did recently.
Honestly, I wish I knew if I can or can't tell you about it, because I'm so excited about it. I really, I didn't do any of the evening events last year. I got invited to one or two, but I was just kind of too knackered. But I'm going to try, and this is why I'm taking more time out there to kind of spread things out and not rush around. But yeah, I wish I could tell you, but I don't think I can.
It's probably better to play safe.
Yeah.
Wagyu. No, seriously, it's based on a synthesizer.
It's the Carvera.
We're telling you.
Carvera.
I wouldn't lie to you. We're under NDA, but I'm breaking that to tell you it's based on a synthesizer. Yeah. We don't care. We're like that here. We live dangerously, and occasionally have lungs.
DNA Presoc. Is that how you pronounce it? Dinapresoc or Dinit? I don't know. Murmix is doing it so far tonight. Well, good. Yeah, like that fabric. Yeah. Febreze the synth love. Excellent stuff.
Synth love.
I had to spray a bit. Spray? What is wrong with me and my letters? I had to spray a bunch of Febreze yesterday. I've got a blocked toilet. Well, it's actually not the toilet that's blocked. It's the drain outside is blocked. So I'm actually getting my steps up because I'm having to go upstairs to go to the toilet. And I go to the toilet a lot at my age.
It's his undies.
Yeah. So Yeah, and I got a text message from Anglian Water, who are water providers here, saying we have logged your call and we'll be with you within 2 months. Brilliant.
Logged.
Britain winning again.
Yeah.
Logged a call. Yeah, logged a log call. No, it wasn't that. I can guarantee it wasn't that.
Is that a shit service?
Yeah, it's a terrible one. Wagyu says, get some of those bendy pipes. I've got a bendy thing, and it's 5 meters long with a corkscrew on the end. It's just getting worse, isn't it? It's 5 meters long with a corkscrew on the end, and I got it all the way in, dare I say, up to the hilt, and I still didn't hit where the blockage was. 5 meters beyond my property, so it's in the drain system somewhere. So it's not.
You're not Welsh, are you? That's clear.
Legacy
Massive,
Hand
says,
massive Sysex dump, saw that.
Yeah.
Badum-tish. Actually, well, we've got one of those. I don't need to do that. Just go like that. There we go.
Voila.
I've moved my Stream Deck over to the right-hand side here, so I keep looking over there and think, oh, it's over there. Cherry Audio next week, which will be fun. And you'll all know what the thing is by the time they come on, but you'll be able to find out what's behind it, because it is a brilliant plug-in. There's also going to be a mini documentary, which is going to be their launch premiere. So make sure you're watching that at, I believe it's 10 a.m. Pacific, which then makes it 1 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. here in the UK, 7 p.m. on the European continent, or certainly Western European continent, on the 14th, and you'll get to find out exactly what that Cherry Audio plugin is, and I guarantee you that it will be a fantastic little mini dock, and you'll be really impressed with it.
But spoiler alert, it's based on a synthesizer.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
It's not, is it?
Yeah, no, it really is.
And I'm going to put this out there now. I am hoping, but it's dependent on a number of things, that there will be an impromptu live stream on Tuesday evening on this channel. It's dependent on a number of variables, not least the fact that it's the day before I fly out, so I need to make sure that all my bags are packed before we do this, and we can only do it after a certain time, embargoes and all this. But yeah, we're hoping to have. So if you don't want to miss this impressive live stream, I'm bigging it up there way more than I should. Hit that subscribe button now, and hit the notifications bell, and that way you won't miss it when we schedule it. So yeah, there we go. And I think we are just about coming up to 9 o'clock. What time, says the Wookiee? Good question. It'll be the evening, so I would imagine no earlier than 7, no later than 9.
Sorry,
so somewhere between those two.
Wookiee, you're asking about the time. He just said it's coming up to 9. Look, you have a look. It's just coming up to 9. What's wrong with you, man?
See Eurovision tomorrow then?
Yeah, Eurovision.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. In that case, yes, I will be doing a pub, because Fiona will be downstairs watching Eurovision, and if I, it'll be go, and now Poland with I don't know, sort of like my brother's goats got wooden knickers. La la la.
Did you see?
It's like, no, I'm not doing that for 5 bleeding hours.
I unfortunately went in on the semi-final yesterday when the missus was watching it, and the Dutch entry was odd, but then they're Dutch.
Okay,
They're Dutch.
what was the German entry? Poland. Oh, that was topical.
Oh dear, you're going to get us banned. I swear you are.
Yeah, we'll save that for tomorrow night.
Indeed.
To my side. Okay.
So anyway, I think that wraps pretty much everything up. We've covered all the news that we're allowed to cover. There is more to come. All I will say is, if you are looking for, I think the day that virtually all the news will drop is going to be a day or two, clues in there, before the actual event at Superbooth next week. So next week is going to be rather busy. There are some lovely, lovely things coming your way, people. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And if you're going to Superbooth, I will be there. I will be wearing ProSynth Network t-shirts in either blue with an orange logo, red with a white logo, or black with a red logo. Probably be wearing my shorts. That makes me look a bit like Don Estelle. That's again another one for the old English people in the room. All I need is my pith helmet, and I'll be away.
Are you taking the pith?
No, I'm taking the pith. Yeah.
Okay.
So come and say hello. But can I just ask you to tell, when you come and say hello, make sure you tell me who you are, because a lot of you people, I have no idea what you look like. So and tell me the name that I'm most likely to know about it. So, for example, if Babs was to come up to me and say, "Hey, it's me," I'm like, but if she says Lady Aptitude, I know exactly who she is. The thing is, though,
who else looks like Babs?
I know exactly. That's the thing. I'd turn around. I would
Bad
swoon.
example.
I would swoon. Maybe
Bad
fall
example, man.
gracefully into her
set
arms.
up a small altar and worship at it.
And worship, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
definitely.
So I've only seen, I was going to call him by his first name, and there I don't want to dox him. But I've only ever seen Wagyu, I think, once or twice in either a pub or somewhere else. But honestly, I wouldn't be able to pick him out in a lineup. So if Wagyu came up to me, he'd have to tell me that he was Wagyu.
Or show you his teeth. Show you those teeth.
Because I did this once in a restaurant, and I'm not sure if the gentleman is here in the chat. He often lurks in the chat. But I was in a restaurant in Sheffield at Synthfest, and a gentleman approached me and said, "Oh, hi, Rob, lovely to meet you. I watch all the shows, and it's brilliant." And I went, "I have no idea who you are. I don't know what your name is." And it's really awkward for me, and I feel terrible for not knowing people's names. But so, yeah, please do tell me, come and find me, say hello, have a chat, but do tell me who you are.
Yeah.
Wear a badge.
Daniel Craig was exactly the same.
I bet.
I mean,
What?
who are you?
Robbie is Robbie James Bond.
The next James Bond.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone that comes up to me, not that one. Say your name is Kent.
Yeah, and then
What a
flick
Kent.
twiglets at them.
Yeah.
Just get that. Just get that first vowel.
And I did
Correct.
say ages ago, I do seem to remember I said ages ago that if you found me, I might be able to give you a T-shirt or something. I'm not sure I've got any left. I think I've got one or two. But I sent Andy's his in the post. And I know Andy was in the chat. Let me just see if the tracking app has been updated to say it's been delivered. Because Andy bought one from us and it started to fall apart, which was most unfortunate.
Didn't give him a T-shirt, give him a tea bag.
Oh, do you remember tea bags?
How tall?
As in,
Still use them.
How tall? How?
do you remember the tea bag shirts?
Yeah.
And you used to go out in the sun, and then you take the t-shirt off, and you were covered in
My dad used to wear those. It's string vest essentially.
that sort of thing.
They
That
are
we call them
vests.
tea bags. Yeah.
Yeah, just give him a tea bag, a normal Techly tea bag, and just say it was an ordering error.
Could have done that. Should have thought of that. Didn't I?
You can get
there you go.
500 tea bags for what? £2?
I've got one for Manny, and I think I owe Mike one as well.
Yeah, you do.
I might only have one T-shirt left. So impress me. There you go. Come up and meet me, and if you impress me enough, and I have one left, you can have it. On me. Or on you.
This could possibly end in an arrest.
It could.
I still have 3. One is a spare for me.
But you've got one for
One's for Ty and one's for Pip.
Yeah.
So
And we want a picture of them wearing nothing but those.
yeah, well, there is that.
Well,
but I
just
do
nothing.
have one spare. Would you like me to send it to you, Robbie? But I kind of like having a spare.
Have a spare. No, have a spare. I've now got 5 spares, which I had just made up for Superbooth. I don't know how long they'll last, but that's what they're there for.
Are we going to get pictures of you swapping T-shirts with someone?
Like, God, I hope not, because
Oh, no, I'm looking forward to that.
I do not want to inflict that on anyone.
I might be
Bad
enough to knock... No, we won't go there.
No, I've got a wall-to-ceiling mirror in my bedroom here, which it was not my choice. It was there. It was like and it's horrible when I just hate walking past it because anyway, we've gone over as we do, but I'm going to be making up for me not being here next week. That's what I'm doing. It's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Listen, everyone. Thank you for joining us this week, as always. We will be back next week. I won't be here. Kent and Andrew hopefully will. If Andrew's feeling better, go back to bed, sir. We will be joined by Mitchell and Dan from Cherry Audio to tell us all about their brand new release, which is coming out next week.
Based on a synthesizer. And maybe there's time for us, or you guys, should I say, to cover some important topics that we'll be able to talk about from Superbooth at them. But then the week after, the plan is to kind of have a Superbooth roundup show. I'm also working on getting an incredibly special guest on the show in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I've turned up. And it's going to be very cool if we can get that to happen.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. We're working on it. We've got our people working on it, so it's going to be good. To everyone that's going to be at Superbooth, Tom, can't wait to meet you again. We'll have a nice chat and a catch up, this time in person again. Not like last night where we were just chatting away until the early hours. I'm really looking forward to meeting anyone and everyone there, and of course getting my hands on lots of lovely gear, and trying not to bring too much back with me, including certain ailments. So yeah, it should be fun.
Have
guys,
you got an allergy to leather?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yet.
It all depends how hard you hit me with it. Mike. There we go. That's a show. And these guys will see you. Those guys will see you same time, same place next week. I will see you in a couple of weeks' time, unless I see you at Superbooth. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, Andy Synchrotron is on 10 a.m. tomorrow morning with, I'm sure, another beautiful droney type improvisation, which is really cool. Then Rands will be on at 2 p.m. UK with
250th,
his...
isn't it?
Oh yes, 250th show.
The
for Randy.
250 tomorrow.
It's all the anniversaries. It was Sonic State 800 on Wednesday, and now it's Ranzy's 250. So go and join Ranzy at 250. I'll probably be hanging around there at some point.
Yeah. Be my 900th pub Saturday.
Yeah, you'll be doing a pub on Saturday. So if you
in 2 years,
if you're in Europe and you want to avoid Eurovision, can't think of a better place to go.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to go on. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. That would be fantastic if you can. And if you want to make sure that you are notified of any impromptu live shows that might be happening next Tuesday, make sure you subscribe and then hit the notification bell to get the reminder. That'd be fantastic. And of course, if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/ProSynth Network. Lots of freebies there. More freebies coming next week. And hopefully in the following weeks as well. Lots of stuff coming your way. Thank you for your support, both financially and by just being here. We all love you very, very much. And take care. Have a great weekend. Thanks for popping in, Andy. Hope you feel better.
Eurovision!
But take care, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.
Cheers.